hope you enjoyed part one of our project and we've finished with our calendar. Now we're going to head and move on to our image and sentiment. So you'll need your image, sentiment, and then whatever base you want to put it on. I cut the scallop square out of a Spellbinders die, and my image is pretty much going to go on top of that with some dimensionals. And I also ran my base through the Swiss dots embossing with the through the Cuttlebug with the Swiss dots embossing folder. I went with dimensionals or pop dots, however you like to call them, because again, we're dealing with a textured piece as a base. So it's just a good way to make sure that nothing falls off. For my sentiment, I did go ahead and put some on there as well. I'm just kind of gluing it down. And the clip is more decorative than anything else. It's really not holding that together. It's just more to kind of make it look like it is, but really no one needs to know that but you. Okay, so now that that's on there, I'm going to go ahead and add some pop dots to the black piece. I'm just kind of want to see where I want to put this. I think this looks about right. Okay, so turn that over and we're going to add quite a few because we're not only dealing with the actual scallop square, there's also the image, there's also the little clip. So just make sure, I always go, more is sometimes better than not enough. But in this case, I think 5 just works, 1 on each corner and then 1 in the middle. And then go ahead and put that right there towards the left. There's not much room. If you'd like a little bit more surface, you could always just turn your paper the other way and have it be 7.5 across, which actually will show you in the next project in a second. The reason I did it this way is because I actually want to put something up on top there. I found this really pretty trim from May Arts that I wanted to add to it. So all I'm going to do, believe it or not, liquid adhesive really works really well with this. I'm just going to do a line all the way down. And let me get some more out. It's not coming out completely. Just try to be as solid as you can with your line. This glue does dry clear, so I'm not too concerned about that, but if you want, you can actually put on the trim and then put the trim down. I just felt this worked. So I cut the trim a little bit more than I needed to. And it could go completely straight. If you want it to curve a little, you can have it do that too. That's the fun part with liquid adhesive, that you can have it do a couple of different things. Now, the way I like to trim it is you can trim it this way. I actually like to turn it over so I'm just seeing the trim and then go according to that edge, because then I know for sure I'm getting just the trim and not anything else, or not going in far enough, and then it makes it harder to try to get it on a second time. Okay, so oops, it moved a little bit, so let me fix it. But again, like I said, I kind of like it curved here and there. Really doesn't bother me. And since you were kind of playing around with it, just kind of fix your bow. And then with that, we're pretty much done with this one. As I mentioned earlier, I have another piece I want to show you. Or another different theme actually of calendar I want to show you. And for this one, I used a different color scheme, different bow treatment, same way I adhered the calendar in the first one. I did it for this one. And the image and sentiment I'm using here is actually from Gina K Designs as well. It's called Hope Grows. It's a really pretty set, and I'm using some clear sheets. And the reason I wanted to do this because I wanted the image to be behind and then the clear sheets on top. And how I did this is I stamped my image, framed it, did all that, and then put a piece of liquid or clear paper on top and then stamped it so it was centered. Another way is you just make it a bigger piece and then trim accordingly. And the way I'm holding it together, because any type of glue you use on clear paper or this plastic image films, it'll show. There's just no way to get around it. So what I found is that putting it together with brads is great. Staples work as well. Eyelets seem to do a good job. I just went ahead and did it with brads just to kind of bring in the theme of the brads from the calendar. Okay, so once you have that done, and it kind of goes quite fast. I did 4. You will be able to put it down, and as you can tell on the piece, on the actual base, I used the same base as I did on the other one. I just added a little bit more pop dots, dimensionals, whatever you want to call it, just because this is quite a few number of layers, okay? And with that, you are done. Hope you enjoy making them. Thanks so much for joining me.